Laundromats are sold as passive income, but the median one sold for about $287,000. It made around $18,000 a month, and after expenses and debt, the owner might keep closer to $3,000. So did you buy a business, or did you buy yourself a job for almost $300,000? A laundromat sounds like the perfect boring business. No restaurant kitchen, no complicated inventory, no sales office, no manager trying to close deals all day. People just walk in, wash their clothes, dry them, pay with a card or coins, and the money seems to drop into the machine by itself. That is how this business is often sold. Passive income, stable cash flow, a business that almost runs without you. But when you look at the real numbers, the picture gets colder. When you buy a laundromat, you are not just buying machines with money inside. You are buying a location or a long lease. You are buying washers, dryers, water heaters, plumbing, electricity, gas, cleaning, repairs, and customers who expect everything to work every single day. That matters, because in the sales pitch, a laundromat looks like a business where the owner comes in once a week and collects money. In reality, someone has to clean the floor. Someone has to unlock the door when a machine fails. Someone has to answer customers. Someone has to fix the washers. And someone has to make sure the place does not turn into a laundromat people avoid. Very often, that someone is the owner. Now look at the revenue. According to Biz Buy Sell, the median laundromat sold in 2025 had about $215,500 in annual revenue. That is about $18,000 a month. This is the number a seller loves to show first. $18,000 a month. It sounds good. It looks like a real business, and it is big enough to make someone think, okay, maybe this actually works. But revenue is not profit, and this is where the real math starts. From that $18,000, expenses come first. Rent, water, gas, electricity, insurance, machine repairs, parts, cleaning, payment systems, sometimes an employee, or your own time. If the store offers wash and fold, you add detergent, bags, sorting, labor, and more daily operations. A laundromat can have a good margin, but it is not free to operate, and the equipment does not last forever. A commercial washer can run for years, but when it breaks, that is not a tiny problem. It can be a bill for hundreds or thousands of dollars. And if the owner takes all the money out and does not set aside reserves, he is not earning more. He is just postponing the future problem. Now look at what is actually left. According to the same Biz Buy Sell data, the median owner earnings for laundromats sold in 2025 were about $77,104 a year. That is about $6,425 a month. So from $18,000 in revenue, the owner keeps about $6,400 before debt. That is not bad, but it no longer sounds like $18,000 of passive income. It sounds like a business with roughly a 36% margin. And this difference matters. If you buy the laundromat in cash, $6,400 a month may look okay. But most people do not buy a business fully in cash. They use debt. The median sale price for a laundromat in 2025 was about $287,000. Imagine the buyer puts down 20%. That is about $57,000 down. That leaves about $230,000 of debt. In a simple financing model, if the loan payment is around $3,200 a month, the math changes. You had $6,400 before debt, minus about $3,200 for the loan. That leaves around $3,200, and that is before taxes, before a major repair, before equipment reserves, and before asking how many hours the owner actually works. This is where passive income starts looking much less passive. Because if the owner spends 10, 15, or 20 hours a week on the business, this is no longer just an investment. It is a job. Just a job you paid almost $300,000 to get. And this is the main point. A laundromat can be a good business. It can have steady demand. People always need to wash clothes. In neighborhoods with many renters, it can work for years. And if the location is strong, the equipment is decent, and the rent does not eat the profit, it can be a solid asset. But a good business and a passive business are not the same thing. If machines break, someone has to deal with it. If the floor is dirty, someone has to clean it. If a customer has a payment problem, someone has to answer. If a dryer stops heating, someone has to show up. If the neighborhood changes, revenue can fall. This is not just a box that prints money. It is a local operating business. And the less you want to work yourself, the more you have to pay other people, which again reduces the profit. So here is the honest conclusion. A laundromat with $18,000 a month in revenue can look very attractive. But the owner may see closer to $6,400 before debt. After debt, that can become around $3,000. And if you add repair reserves and the owner's real time, the picture gets even colder. That does not mean laundromats are bad. It means you have to read the numbers correctly. Revenue is not profit. Profit before debt is not cash in your pocket. And a passive business often becomes an active job with a more expensive entry price. So the question is not whether a laundromat can make money. It can. The question is, are you buying a business or are you buying yourself a job for $287,000? But not every boring business works this way. In the next video, we are looking at a business where the numbers may actually be better. Higher margins, less daily chaos, less equipment constantly breaking, and a real chance the owner keeps a larger piece of the revenue. Next, self-storage, the boring business that might actually deserve the hype.